Hi, everyone. My name is Tammy Anderson Ward, and I'm the conference producer with the Energy Healing Conference. And today I have a special guest speaker that I'm really excited to have join with me today. This is somebody who I have been following for some time, and I'm just really, really excited about all of the people that I know that this is going to help. Now, her podcast has been going on for some time. She's also been doing her own events, retreats. She's looking into doing a lot of other things as well to continue adding to her portfolio. She's a very, very talented orator. She speaks very articulately in a way that I feel like it doesn't just touch your ears, but it also touches your soul, if that makes sense. For someone who has loved ones who have left religion or who have, and I mean like any type of religion, not just the one that's in the main space here in where I live, but in other areas as well. I feel like this is a really relevant topic in 2022, and a lot of people are left feeling a lot of shame. And Amanda Loveland, our speaker today, I feel really encouraged by the information that she shares. And I'm just super excited about this one specifically because also as a mom, there is also a lot of sexual shame that can also be left as well. And you guys, like, this is such a tender topic and one that I have kind of like, oh, do I want to have this on my page? Yes, I do. I 100% do. And I'm going to share with you a couple of reasons why I decided to have her come on. Even if you yourself are still in a religious setting, even if that's not pertinent for you specifically, you're going to be able to still get a lot of benefit from the topic because the topic affects every single one of us. And it's not like you don't know other people who have left. Do you know what I'm saying? So this is a way to also help learn ways to support them and not ostracize them, but fully love them and allow them their journey as well. And so it's very relevant. And what I'd like to do is go ahead. We're going to start with, I wanted to first of all tell you who was speaking today and a little bit about what the topic is. I'm going to be having her join in about 15 minutes, but I'm going to invite you to share this video with someone that you know that could possibly benefit from this topic. And then I'm also going to you can tag anyone that you feel comfortable tagging. If you would rather, you can go underneath this video if you're on Facebook, and you can actually grab the link just by clicking share, and then it should give you more options, and you can also grab it and text it to someone, even if they're not able to watch it right at this moment because maybe they're at work or they're doing something else with the holidays or whatever. They will be able to have the link and then they can watch it when it is a more convenient time for them. So I just encourage you to get this video out because I know it's going to help so many people. When I was going through, probably I would say the peak of my crisis, and it was a crisis for me, crisis of crisis of identity. I didn't know who I was anymore or what I was living for, my purpose. Like I just was like falling apart. I found her podcast, didn't know anything about her, started following her. And I'm like, oh my word, we have all these things in common and we have all these friends in common. And I just feel so supported by her through her work. Even though her and I have never met, I reached out to her and asked her if she would consider serving this audience that doesn't get served as much in a space, especially where energy healing is accepted and maybe forms of spirituality that are a little bit like people are like, you know what I mean? So I'm really, really excited to have her here today. And I feel very honored to have her here. She'll be joining us in just a few minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and have you guys comment down below just with a couple of things. Okay. This is considered also an after conference conversation since we just completed our really big summer conference. I had a few people that say, how many people showed up? Because it was over a 3-day time period. And it was in 2 huge, huge buildings and outside as well. And we did have almost 2,000 people show up this year, which is, probably about 800 more than what we had the summer before, but about 2,000 less than in 2019. So we're still like, coming back from all of the fun 2020 stuff. But I'm very, very pleased with the numbers that we ended up having come to the conference. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you're joining in, we meet here on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel every Friday morning, 10 a.m. And we have experts and speakers come on just to add value. It doesn't cost anything to have you guys join in. We want to continue serving you and just adding value to your life. And one of the giveaways that I have today for you is it's a really beautiful thing. Of course, we're talking about 2 taboo topics today, I guess, that you could say. And one of them is money. So I'm going to be doing a summer class specifically with the topic of money. My daughter, who's 22 right now, just bought herself a $450,000 duplex. And they're getting it, and they're doing some stuff to it, her and her husband. And then they are getting ready to move to Boston, actually. So their house is in Ogden, and he can work from anywhere, and she's a photographer and can work from anywhere, of course. And so they just have all these adventures, and they're going to go live in Hawaii for a year. They have so many fun plans together, and they're following through with them. And I'm so proud of her. They also have about $60,000 in cash right now that they've saved up. And she was able to do about 20,000 before she went on her 2.5-month adventures in Europe. This was money that she saved by herself, that she just is so excited about her life and making plans and adventures and just all this excitement. And I love it so much. And I asked her, I said, so like, how did you do all that? And she goes, what do you mean? And I said, like, I don't think it's that normal for like a 22-year-old to have $60,000, you know what I mean, in savings that they got on their own. She didn't like get it from an inheritance or anything like that. I said, how did you do that? And she goes, I just did what you told me to do. What do you mean? And I'm like, okay, that's cool. So I've asked her to kind of join in a little bit with this money class that we're doing to teach a few things. Now, for those of you who've been to my classes before, you've heard her recordings. We really do believe that the most powerful voice in the entire universe to you is your own voice. And it's because it matches the resonance of your own subconscious mind, that inner voice. And I'm really grateful that I learned that early on. I learned that from one of my mentors, Bob Proctor. My husband and I worked with him. There was only 3 of us in the group, so it wasn't one-on-one, but it was pretty damn close. So we worked with him, and I learned so much, and also with many of my other mentors that I've had over the years. And we do what they say, and it serves people. It helps the world. Like literally, it helps us too to be able to reach our dreams and the lives that we want. So I'm really, really grateful for that. If you are interested in the money course and you're watching right now, will you please go ahead and just type in the word money down in the comments? I mean, it literally is that simple. And I'm going to go ahead and choose 2 winners to give away. And then we're going to do as a giveaway for the money course. I want to make sure that's clear. It is a 7-week course. We're going to be jumping on a Zoom once a week starting on July 12th. And it's pretty simple. These are like basic things that you can do, like doing recordings of your own voice. We're going to be talking about some books that I think you might really enjoy. We're going to be doing some book discussions, and we'll be doing some thought training and some really fun stuff in there. It's not like one of those classes where I'm going to be calling you every day to make sure you did the homework. It's a really relaxed summer class. And I'd like to do that as a giveaway. Also, for those of you who shared this video, will you please go ahead and let me know by putting shared down in the comments, because I'm also going to send you a message with some extra goodies as well. In addition to the money class, you're also going to get a lot of templates and some other things that I'm super excited about. One of them is we have a document that has over 300 positive money statements and declarations that you can use with instructions on how to get your voice in and put it into the right resonance as it pertains to money. So I'm super excited. Lori says, I love listening to Heal Book documentary. True, our voice is the most powerful. It absolutely is. That is very cool. So yes, thank you for all of you who are sharing, because we want to get this video out and in front of as many people as possible. If you joined me at the beginning, we're talking about the very important topic of unmasking shame with one of my favorite podcast hosts right now, Amanda Loveland. Also just recently put out a book with the same topic, or with the same title, excuse me, and that is called Leaving Religion. So super pertinent for a lot of people, even if you yourself have not left religion. This is something that I think could really help you as well. So especially if you know people who have left and you're trying to find ways to support them and love them anyway, because we're not always taught that when we're in a high demand religion. So very, very pertinent topic, super important. Thank you so much for being here and listening in, and also sharing this if you feel called to do so. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to do the first money giveaway in about 2 minutes. We're going to go ahead and choose 2 winners. For those of you who have not yet learned about it, I want to just share a few things with you about it. You're going to be getting templates. You're going to be getting a book list. You're going to be getting lots of excitement, stories, and hope, which I think is really important. My company's name is Hope Haven Events. And I guess security really is that important to me, which is one of the reasons why leaving my religion was very difficult for me, especially with how ingrained it really was in me. It made up everything about me. So I'm super excited to be able to discover myself and letting down the shame. It's so important. So I'm so happy to have her on today. All right, let's go ahead and choose. Now, if you don't win today, but you are interested, we have a special that is going on now between now and, let's see, July 11th. It'll end July 11th. And it is only for $77, which is my favorite number. So $77. So you can just message us for the link if you're interested in getting that. We are limiting it to a certain number. So if you want in, make sure you for sure get in on that. Okay. Also, I would really encourage you guys, if you have any spouses or sisters or best friends or parents or anyone that could benefit from Amanda's amazing presentation today, please, I encourage you to share that with them. It's going to be so important and so relevant for so many different people. So I'm so excited. A few of you are asking, hey, can you see my comments in the chat? Yes, I absolutely can. If you cannot, one of the reasons why may be because we're coming in from different platforms. So we've got YouTube. Our YouTube channel is all on this platform called StreamYard. We also have our spring Energy Healing Conference group, which has 2,500 people in it. We also are on my personal page, and then also on our Facebook page for Energy Healing Conference, which has 32,000 people on it. So if you cannot see yours, I promise you we can. So it's all good. And Amanda, go ahead and play with the behind the scenes there for just a hot minute to make sure that you can see all the comments as well. I want to make sure you can see those as you're interacting with people as well. So yes, absolutely. Yeah, perfect. And then I'm also going to go ahead and put my email up just in case if you have any questions or thoughts or comments that you'd like to share with me privately, please feel free to do that as well. If you would like to nominate someone for the money class, I am going to be going ahead and doing 2 more giveaways over the next until July 11th. So you can go ahead and do that as well. It is a little uncomfortable to talk about money for some people. And so if that's you and you're like, oh, I feel that, I encourage you to join in on the class. We've made it super affordable so that that's not really a thing. One of the things also that we're going to be really embracing in that class is letting go of a lot of the blocks around money, the misconceptions. And as a young girl, I went to 19 different schools before I graduated. We moved a lot, and we were actually in survival mode a lot. In fact, we ate out of a lot of people's expired food storage. And so I'm like, for me to be able to actually like own my own home, just that in and of itself is such a big deal. But we've been able to do much more than that. So I'm very, very excited about it. And thank you so much for joining in. We're going to start off with doing one of our giveaways. And I'd also love to invite you to share where you're tuning in from so that our guest speaker can see where our attendees that are attending live are in from. And then for those of you who are watching on the replay as well, please feel free to also share where you're from as well, because I'm sure Amanda will come back and check those and be able to still have conversations with you as well. I really appreciate your positivity and just your love and your support. You guys are awesome. All right, let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and do the first giveaway for the money class scholarship is Jessica Harmon. So let's go ahead. If you're new to our channel, one of the things that we do is we offer a lot of love and support and encouragement to people when they win. It's just good juju, right? So go ahead and please send your favorite emojis or congratulations to our first winner, who is Jessica Harrison. And Jessica, I don't know if I've ever met you before. So if you want to go ahead and just send me over a quick email with your, I only need your email so we can get you added into the Facebook group and make sure that you get all of the bonuses that we do for the money class. And we'll get you added in there. All right, let's go ahead and do another winner. This one is going to be Lori Bills. So Lori Bills, congratulations. My second pin doesn't work. Let's see if I can get your names written down. There we go. Okay, so Lori Bills, those are our two winners for today for the money class. Thank you guys so much. And please go ahead and send me over your details so I can get that added in. And yeah, thank you for celebrating when somebody else wins. That is such a big deal. All right, awesome. Very, very exciting stuff, you guys. I feel so grateful to have this platform and to have this place where we can discuss topics that are super relevant and important to me. I will say it is a little bit like, ooh, we live in Utah and we're talking about what? And so I just want to share with you from the bottom of my heart, this is meant to really support and uplift and help people who might find themselves in a situation where everything feels really overwhelming and it feels really uncomfortable in a lot of ways. One of the things that has been really, really helpful and supportive to me is to find podcasts and even books and other things that help support me. And Amanda Loveland, Amanda Joy Loveland. I can't believe her name is Amanda Joy Loveland. It's so funny. So I almost named my youngest daughter Amanda Joy, but a girl actually that was in my ward that was down the street, her name is Amanda Joy. So I couldn't name her that. So I named her something else. Anyway, I just love that name so much. It's really pretty. Okay, so I want to go ahead and read her bio. It says, Amanda is a shamanic Reiki and NLP practitioner, intuitive, visionary, public speaker, successful entrepreneur, published author of Love and the Spaces in Between, and also Leaving Religion and Those We Leave Behind, a guidebook for navigating the waters after religion and finding your spiritual center, and co-author of The Untold Stories of Motherhood, and host of the podcast Leaving Religion, a guide to navigating the waters after religion. Something else that I did was I hired and have worked with quite a few coaches who work in this field as well, and they've been very, very helpful. So I'm super thankful to have Amanda on today sharing this very, very important topic. And thank you so much. We've got 24 people or 27 people live on from all different platforms. We want to increase that to 50. So if you have not yet shared this video, I want to invite you today to share this video. And then I'm going to be coming back on after Amanda is done, and we're going to be doing some more giveaways. And I will be choosing based off of the people who've shared this video. And if you share with people, maybe not just on your page, but it's more comfortable for you to share, like in a text form or email or something like that, please still let me know if you shared so that I can get you in on those giveaways as well. I really appreciate that. So today her topic is called Unmasking Shame. Shame is one of the lowest vibration emotions we carry. We don't talk, that we carry, and we don't talk about how to unmask shame so it no longer has any power over us. It's time to embrace all that you are and bring your shame into wholeness. Join me as I guide you through a visualization exercise to soothe and bring wholeness to you. This is what Amanda is talking about today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring her to our virtual stage today. Please welcome Amanda Joy Loveland.
Well, hello.
Hey there, beautiful. How are you?
I am so good. I'm a little disheveled. I'm in my Springdale house and it echoes a little bit more in here. So I hope, well, it's not my house, it's my family's house, but I was planning on being home, but we're down here today.
Oh, perfect. Your audio sounds lovely. So it's
good.
on point. And I just want to make sure, can you see everybody's comments?
Yep, I have another tab open, so we should be good. I mean, it's just on Facebook, so I'm only seeing the Facebook comments.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we have a lot of different comments that are coming in. I'll at the end, if you do any sort of Q&A or anything like that, then I can go ahead and help you with that. And I'll just be right here kind of behind the scenes. So if you need anything, let me know.
Well, Tammy, before you go, I want to just say thank you for sharing your vulnerability, because as you were talking, and I can just feel your heart with the transitions you're going through. And I just want to honor you and thank you for having the courage for sharing, because I know that this transition is challenging.
Yeah, definitely.
And really beautiful.
Yes, definitely. I'm getting to the more beautiful parts now. Before it was like ugly cry every day, all over the place. But yeah, it's definitely different. And it's because of people like you. So thank you so much.
Yeah, well, thank you. Well, let's dive in. I actually wish that she was on. I would much rather have a conversation with Tammy than talking to who knows who's out there. And I noticed somebody that's watching is from Ghana. So wow, that's amazing. The reason why shame came up, and when Tammy and I were talking, shame is one of those pieces that we don't talk about often. And I don't care where you come from, what part of the world you're in, what your religious affiliation is, if you're spiritual, if you're not spiritual, regardless of where we all come from, we carry shame because of the way that the world has been constructed. And I what's interesting is this last book that I wrote that looks like this. I have it right here because it was one of those books along with my podcast that I never thought that I would do. And it's fascinating and beautiful when we lean more and more into our lives and being in the present moment. It gives opportunities for us to receive information. And one day I received a download from spirit, from God, whatever your language is, that shared with me that I got to do this book, and it got to come from a place of love and not attacking, because love is that glue that actually binds us and brings us together regardless of what our background is and what our opinions of the world are. And as I was writing this book and moving through this guidebook of exercises to do, I noticed that I had a lot of shame coming up, which really surprised me. I've done a lot of personal work, and so having this come up, and it came up through my second chakra. If you're not familiar with the chakra centers, the second chakra is your sacral chakra, and it's right below your belly button. And this is your sexual center, and it's actually your creative seat. So this, when you create in the world, it comes from this energy center in your body. And as I sat in this space and I I felt into and actually started to do a session on myself of what is in here, emotions just started unraveling. And I was noticing that as I dove into these places within me that had deep, deep shame, I could see all the parts of me that I had put off to the side. Now, in as a shaman, shamans deal in energy work in general. We know everything's energy. Science is showing that everything is energy, and energy never stops. And when you dive into the quantum realm and dive into quantum physics, there's a thing called and I'm gonna botch this word. I believe it's a oh, I'm not gonna be able to say it. I want to say quasark, but that's not it. But the smallest, when you break down an atom to the smallest level in the quantum physics realm, the atom, the molecular structure, there's still movement happening. So it shows that energy never dies, but it does have a lower and a higher vibration. So depending on where we're at in our lives and depending on the emotions that you are holding will have a different frequency to it. And if you haven't seen the human vibrational chart, I want to share. Let me see if I can share this with you. Let me just share my screen. Let's find out. We're going to see. Let's just do entire screen. Oh, it's not going to work. I'm not going to do this, you guys. I don't want to take the time. So I apologize for that. But if you go look up, you can actually find, it's called the emotional vibration chart. And it will show the different frequencies that emotions, um, hold on, I'm trying to now move the screens out. Maybe I am sharing. Will somebody comment if they can see my screen? Quarks, thank you for saying that, Christy. I appreciate that. You know, we're just going to go back here. Oh, it is sharing. You guys, we got this.
It's so funny. Okay, so
Oh my goodness. Here
how
we go. Can you see my screen?
how StreamYard works, Amanda, is when you put your screen up, then I just have to approve it. So if you put
Oh,
it up,
how
there's
funny.
like a 5-second delay. Sorry, I should have told you that. I didn't know.
No, you're totally good.
Anyway, I'm going to show you what it looks like. Can you see what that looks like now?
Yes, I can see that. I look really pretty. You're welcome, everybody.
So pretty. But that's probably not what you're wanting to actually show.
No, so I won't worry about it then.
Okay.
Thank you for that, Tammy. But if you Google emotional vibrational chart, you'll actually see, and I share it in my book because I feel like it's really important, and most of us don't know this, that there is a frequency of different emotions that we carry. And guess what? Shame is the lowest frequency, and it's right next to death as far as the vibration that we carry in the body. So when we sit in shame, and shame can look anything from Tammy was talking about money. If you have restrictions with money or limiting beliefs around money that you're not worthy of receiving and you're not worthy of having monetary success, you will hold a shame piece around that, which is the lowest vibration. And we know because of the law of attraction that what we hold within us is what we will get outside of us. In my NLP practice, one of the things that I always work with clients is what are you receiving in the world? What is the world constantly showing you? Because that is constantly giving you feedback for what you're holding within you. So if you're constantly seeing lack and having lack shown to you in your world, that is a belief that you're holding within you. We are always accountable and always responsible for what is showing up in our world. So, the reason why shame is so important that we talk about and we unmask is because it is the lowest frequency. It vibrates at a level of 20 on this scale that I'm looking at. Some of them change a little bit, but this one shows shame at 20. Enlightenment or peace, peace is 600. So you can see the scale that's quite different. Above, shame is guilt at 30, then apathy at 50, grief at 75, fears at 100. So shame has even a lower vibration than fear. Then you move to desire, anger, pride, courage, neutrality, willingness at 310, willingness or acceptance at 350, love at 500. So where I'm going to invite you now to just close your eyes for a moment. And as you're just sitting in this space, and as I'm talking, I want to invite you just to check in. Where in your body are you holding shame, and what are the shame pieces? Is it shame around where you think you should be in life and you are not? Is it shame about what kind of a parent you are being? Are you being a good enough mother, a good enough father? Are you wanting to work, but you're feeling conflicted because you desire to have a career and a life, but your society has told you you need to be home with your children? Are you carrying shame because your temper got the best of you one day? Are you carrying shame because you are highly sexual? There's a lot of shame around our sexuality. Are you carrying shame because you have sexual preferences that are not socially acceptable? There are so many places where we carry shame. Are you carrying shame because in your relationship you desire something, but you are so afraid of yourself or those parts of you that you think are gross? What are those parts within you that feel gross that you are ashamed of? Shame even comes from sharing our stories. As Tammy was so beautifully sharing her heart and where she's at, there's some shame that's underneath that of what will people think? What will people think when I share who I am and what I'm going through? And I'm like going against the grain. Anyone who leaves any kind of societal construct, there's a fear that they will get kicked out of the tribe. So breathing and making sure you're breathing, taking a deep breath into your body, in through your nose and out through your mouth. And if you're not closing your eyes, I invite you to close your eyes. And I'd like you to imagine yourself somewhere in nature, somewhere that feels safe to you. Looking down, noticing your feet in the earth, and invite you to see your feet bare feet so that you can feel the texture, the warmth of the earth beneath your feet. Notice if there's sun or if it's the moon. What time of day is it? If there's sun, feel the sun, the heat, the sun rays on your skin. If it's the moon, notice and feel the energy, the beauty of that darkness with the stars above you and that moon illuminating the earth beneath and the earth around you. Is there wind? Are there any scents here? Do you smell anything through the breeze? What are the sounds in this space? Just notice and allow yourself to just be held here. And in this space, notice a tree in the distance. Walking towards this tree, allow yourself to sit at the base of this tree, feeling held by this beautiful trunk, this ancient tree that has grandmother energy to it that can hold you, a parental, loving figure energy holding you here. Again, feeling the earth beneath you. And as you sit here, feeling held, feeling nourished, feeling supported in this space, I invite you again to fill into those places within you. Where have you been holding shame? And where have you allowed for a place of you to be let go of, to be fractaled out of your body so that it's not even a part of you anymore because of shame? Start to see all these places that you have left behind because you felt shame. See them now. See them in front of you, around you, coming into this space, walking into this space. Notice. Are there parts of you when you were a child that are coming in? See all the different aspects that are asking to come in now to be seen and witnessed. And as they come in one at a time, can you acknowledge them? Can you see them? And can you give them love? When we refuse these parts of us, it blocks our energetic flow. It blocks creative. It blocks energy from moving through the body. You are suppressing and limiting all that you are. So, like a mother or a father has unconditional love for their child, can you give unconditional love for each of these parts of you that you have, because of shame, put aside, ignored, pretended wasn't there, shoved down, blocked, suppressed? Breathe and see each and every one of these aspects. What do they need from you in order to come back home? Can they come back home to you? Can they come back into all that you are so that you may operate from more of a whole place, being one with all these parts of you? I invite you, if there's many aspects, to see them stacked behind each other, all coming together as one. Bringing them in front of you now. If you'd like to stand and face them, you may. Whatever you feel called to do, do so now. See these parts. Love these parts of you with unconditional love. We are living a human experience, and part of the human experience is to understand all that we are and all that we are not, so that we may know more and more fully who we truly are. Allowing for yourself to notice that an opening or a portal comes from the heavens, from God, from Source, from the divine, from the sun, and see golden light pouring down, this beautiful divine light, this pure, refined Sami pouring down from the heavens and coming into the top of your head now. And as it comes in, it goes into every cell, every tissue, every neural pathway, through your central column, through the Sushumna, through all of you, filling you with complete love and wholeness. And as you feel complete, allowing for this energy to fill you so completely that it starts to spill out of you like sun rays. And as it spills out of you, can you give this love, this energy to all of these aspects of you that you have let go? All of these parts of you that you have set aside, these unwanted parts of you that are asking to come home now. Can you give this energy, this love, this unconditional love, this pure light to them? Through your breath, each breath, inhaling that light, and then the exhale, exhaling that light to these parts of you, filling you and these aspects of you so fully. Notice now in this space if there's any guides, any angels that come to you now, standing behind you, to the sides of you, supporting you in this process, assisting you in bringing more wholeness to all that you are. Inviting them in, filling them, acknowledging them. And now, when you are ready, and if it feels in alignment for you, I invite you to step into each and every single one of these aspects that you have set aside and instead bring them back home, inviting them back home to more of the wholeness that you are, with complete and unconditional love. Stepping in to each and every single aspect that's asking to come back home, starting with the child aspects, those innocent parts of you that just wanted to be seen, acknowledged, loved, and held. Bringing that back in to the cells, the tissues, the neural pathways, and into the heart, the solar plexus, the sacral chakra, into all that you are, breathing it in, breathing them in, and moving forward with every part of you, moving from the youngest to the oldest that has been fractaled off. Breathing each and every one in, allowing for any emotions to flow. Energy or emotion is just energy and motion. Allow for the energy to move. And as you step into each and every single aspect, notice that your light gets brighter and brighter. And those places within you that felt blocked, that felt suppressed, that had any kind of shadow energy, there is now light through these aspects that is being brought in, a completeness that is happening now. Making sure you breathe, allowing for the energy to move, and allowing for you to accept all these parts of you and accept this love, this light. And as that feels complete and you are fully embodied and bringing in all these and have brought in all of these parts of you, taking a very deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And another one in through the nose. And if there's any sound that wants to release with your exhale, allow it out. Good. I invite you to lay in this place in nature, wherever you are, lay in the earth, allow for the earth to hold you, to support you, and allow for this new vibration, this new energy that you carry to be anchored and witnessed in the earth now. Sending this love back to the heavens, that golden light that came in, acknowledging and receiving, and also giving back that love of acknowledgement, of acceptance, of gratitude for this time, for this space, for you, acknowledging yourself. I invite you to bring your hands, one to your heart, one to your sacral chakra, or wherever you feel to place them on your body now. If there's still some resistance or some tightness, bring your hands there. Wherever it feels to bring your hands to your body, do so now. And as you bring your hands to your body, I invite you to bring in gratitude for having the courage to step into this space, for being human, for allowing yourself to see and witness these parts of you that have been asking to be seen and witnessed and felt. You may notice your body shaking, tingling. You may have emotions that are still moving. That is all very normal. You may have some restrictions still as well. That is very normal. Just allow for the energies to move, acknowledge them, see them, and allow it to move. If you had any angels or guides coming in, seeing them now, giving them gratitude for being in this space with you. And if they have a message for you, allow yourself to hear it now, receive it now. Mm. I'm seeing so many loved ones of all of you that are coming in, that are wanting to acknowledge you As you do the healing, you heal generations. You heal through your DNA. You heal 7 generations forward and backwards every time you do your work. And as you become more whole, more back in Aini with yourself, more in love and right reciprocity with yourself, it reverberates out into the universe. What happens to the one happens to the all, the micro and the macro. So as you do your work, it benefits us all. So thank you. And they are wanting to say thank you. Taking another deep breath and allowing yourself, if you're in stillness, to start slowly coming back to the body, moving your fingers, your toes, coming back into the room. And when you're ready, I invite you to slowly open your eyes and taking a few more deep breaths, coming fully back and present. I just finished with a retreat that I never thought I would join. And that was one of the most empowering retreats because we dove into our shame, and we dove into our shame around sexuality. And what I noticed is as I allowed for my shame to be seen, and I actually verbalized and vocalized some of the shame that I had been hiding and holding back from when I was a little girl, allowing for myself to let go of judgment, there was more and more love and more wholeness that continued to be brought in. And as I shared with you when I was writing this book and the shame pieces that came out, it was fascinating to witness and fascinating to then be shown that these parts of me, because of shame, I had repressed, I had put outside of me. And so I was operating from a place that was less than who I fully am. And so I actually wrote about it. I wrote about, it's titled Unconscious Shame, because I wrote about my process as I was moving through it. And it was fascinating to witness and see, and it felt to share in my book. And as we become more conscious of these parts of us that we are withholding, we allow for that unconscious part of us to be seen. And we know we have in our unconscious mind and our unconsciousness, we take in over 2 million bits of information a second, where the conscious mind only takes in, I think, 200. It's around 200 bits. So our unconscious mind, our unconscious parts of us are what are operating our reality, and we're not aware of it. So the more and more you step into things like this, the more we get to allow for that unconscious, those shadow parts of us that we think are bad, to come into wholeness. We cannot have the light without the dark. We actually were born from the shadow. In the womb, it is dark. And we are born into this world that comes into light, but we couldn't have had the light without the dark. So those parts of us that feel shadowy, those parts of us that we try to suppress, to push down, to remove from us, they never go away. They're just suppressed, they're blocked, they're repressed energy. And then we hold a low frequency, a low vibration in our body. And what we are all asking for now is to be seen, to be witnessed, to be held, and to allow for that to come into the wholeness of all that we are. So thank you for joining me in this. Thank you for having the courage of saying yes, for stepping into this meditation, and for allowing parts of you to be seen. If you are still struggling a bit with any blocks, somebody here is having some blocks in the throat. Whoever that is, I invite you to write whatever it is that wants to be spoken. Writing is one of the most beautiful tools, and I invite you to actually write with a pen and paper because it allows for the energy to get out of the body through our writing. So I invite you to do that and spend a few days with it, writing and getting out whatever it is that needs to be seen. I feel shame because of this. I feel gross because of this. I feel disgusted because of this. Talk to the emotions that we don't want to talk about. Unmask your shame. And you can do this with yourself. You don't have to do it with another. This can be done within the privacy of your own home. And the invitation that I am bringing to you today is to sit with those parts of you that you have been ashamed of, and allow yourself to be seen. See yourself for the beauty of all that you are, including the shameful parts. And there may still be emotions that are going to move after this. And Tammy, I am not seeing the comments seem to be coming in pretty late on my side. So I don't know if you want to jump on with me. If there are any questions or any comments. Hi.
I'm just putting them up on the screen
Oh,
because
I just started seeing a few of them.
oh yeah, because they've been coming
Mm.
in, but I'm like, I need to like make sure she knows how powerful this has genuinely been for so many people. And I did just text about 50 people that I know and say, get on this right now. This
Get
is
on this
amazing.
right now.
So if you got a message from me, yeah, it's because I was thinking about you. But this is powerful. Thank you so much for continuing and to do your work. But this has just been powerful. I'm gonna actually jump off for a minute. Is it okay if I keep sharing just a few of the comments?
Absolutely. Yes, please. And I just saw Lori's comment come in. Yes, maybe it's you that I'm feeling. There's a few people that actually have. A lot of us, most of us will at some point in our life carry blocks and repression in our throats because it's those parts of us that want to be shared. They want to be heard, and we keep swallowing it down. We keep suppressing it because we are so afraid. I know we're not supposed to talk about religion, so don't get mad at me for saying this, but I have a very strong belief that because of different people that have come in our Jesus, Mary, we have Jesus, we have Joan of Arc, we have so many beautiful, powerful figures that have come through before us and have been killed because they stepped out of the societal norms at the time. And so there's a part of us that when we go against the constructs that we have been taught and we step outside the programs, we step outside the box, we are afraid of being crucified for it. And so that is part of what happens with our throat chakra. We swallow it down. We don't want to share these things because we will be crucified. And maybe it's not a literal crucifixion, but it can be through emotions, through hatred, through people being unkind. And that's where we get to become so right with ourselves. There's a saying in shamanism called being an Aini, and it's one of my most favorite. I'm actually quite shaky. I don't do this very often, but there's still a ton of energy that's moving from all of you that are in this. So if you're shaking, just allow for it to shake, and my voice is going to shake a little bit because I'm still feeling it. Yes, Lori, thank you. My core desire feeling is to feel alive and unmask shame around what I can or can't do. Yes, creative living out of the cubicle. I love that you brought that up because yes, there's so many ways to allow for the creative energy to flow even when you don't have a job, a 9 to 5, or whatever you're doing on a day-to-day basis that doesn't allow for creativity, find other places within your life, like writing, to allow for that creative energy to flow. Energy, you think of a river, what happens when a river is dammed? This is what happens. Water is actually a beautiful, if you guys are dreamers and you have dreams about water at any time, and somebody's laughing right now because that's them. If you've had a dream about water lately, was the water peaceful? Was it calm or was it turbulent? It represents and it's showing you your an internal state around your emotions. And what happens when we dam water? It gets totally blocked up, right? And the water will start coming bigger and bigger. It can get suppressed. What happens with water that's stagnant? Gross, bugs. Do you want to drink that water? Absolutely not. It stinks. It's disgusting. And eventually, what will happen with that water, with those emotions, if they are constantly dammed up, it'll eventually burst the dam and be extremely chaotic. And this can look like disease in the body. It can look like midlife crises, if that is a word. It can look like so many things. So allowing for the energy to move is so important. So however that looks, some people need movement. Turn on your favorite song and dance in your bedroom. I invite you to put a blindfold on and just dance, and just whatever the energy is that's wanting to move. I invite you, if you're feeling energy in your throat that's constriction, start just moving your voice, sing, do mantras, do chants, scream, whatever it is, do it. It will allow for the energy to move. And again, if we don't allow for the energy to move, it will create physical manifestations and you will get sick. or you will have an outburst, right? We've all been there. We suppress, and then something happens and we launch. I don't know what just happened. There we go. So I'm seeing some of the comments coming in, but they're coming in late. Hi, Tammy.
Hey, that's awesome. No, I'm like over here kind of like giggling a little bit because yeah, that happened to me when March 8th, I ran into like this big metal pipe that was poking out of the back of a truck. And I ran into it because it kind of blended in with the back of the building. People keep saying, "How did you get your head injury?" And I'm like, I'm so embarrassed to tell people because I don't think it's like a good story. It wasn't like I was skydiving or anything like that. And when I ran into it, I landed on the ground and I was down for like 10
Oh,
to 15
honey.
minutes. And all of a sudden, this massive outburst came out of me. Everybody in the gas station knew I was there. Well,
Hmm.
so everything that you're saying, I feel like people like, are you guys like resonating with the things that she's saying? Does it make sense to you? Are you thinking of like maybe an outburst or something? Or like holding it in that stagnant energy? Like, I just feel like everything you're saying has been so spot on. And there are tons of comments coming in. I can't even, I'm like, do we want to listen to her or do we want to like read 1,000 comments? I'm like,
I
I'm gonna
love
there's
Midge that just said shame is the root that keeps growing beneath. I 100% agree with that. I
Mhm.
100% agree with that. And then and this is why I wanted to talk about unmasking shame is because when we remove one layer, it allows for another to be seen. And this is why we get so frustrated with our healing because we think, oh my gosh, I already hit that one thing. And it's like, well, there's another layer that's going to come up underneath it and underneath it. And that same thing is going to have many, many layers to it. And so it's a beautiful process of our healing, but we often get frustrated. And Tammy, I love that you shared that pipe because I'm sure that was like, I'm sure if it were me, a lot of profanities would have been coming out of my mouth.
Yeah, they
But
did.
but
They
how
did.
amazing is it that the universe, whatever you want to call it, showing up for you? Like, oh, we're repressing this. Let's get this out. And you weren't paying attention before, so this is gonna hurt.
My husband literally said, "It's like the universe went boom right across your forehead and
Wow.
was like, 'You're gonna listen.'" So I actually
Yeah.
jumped on not to necessarily share that story, but because I wanted to ask you, you
Yeah.
gave this tip about writing, and my 22-year-old daughter that I was talking about earlier in the broadcast
Mm.
today, she was sharing that she uses writing as a skill that she does for herself every day. I have not. I'd love to hear a little bit more about that if you have, time
Yeah.
in your
Oh,
time.
absolutely.
And if anybody else has any other questions, please feel free to put them in the comments too. Everything she's saying is so spot on. I love it.
Yeah, writing is such a beautiful tool. Obviously, I've written a few books. Never thought I would, but I used to do a lot of what they call morning pages, especially when you're working through emotions. Morning pages is something to where you can have a conversation with yourself, you can have a conversation with God, but you give yourself 5, 10, 15 minutes and you do not allow for the pen to leave the paper. And you just allow for whatever wants to be written and allow for it to flow. And so you can even start with I am writing, 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 and say that until all of a sudden things just start coming out of you. And it's really fascinating just to allow for that flow of energy to come in and out and through you and out of you of whatever it is that's wanting to be said and witnessed. The other thing too you can do is you can actually have conversations with God. And I do this a lot when I feel stuck in anything. I can because I started practicing the morning pages years ago, I would allow for that energy just to be received. And this is a really good tool to actually start to turn on your ability to channel, to receive information, because a lot of us don't think we have that gift and we all do. It's just using it's you don't know a gift, your muscles, right? They're not going to get strong if you don't lift weights. And so these gifts are all available to us, but if we don't know how to use them, they're going to be stagnant. So this is a really beautiful tool to start activating that ability to receive information. And then as you start learning how to do that and allow for that just to flow through you, you can start transitioning into talking to your spirit guides, talking to God. I'm really frustrated with this, God. And I have a beautiful friend that actually kind of has her very angry journal with God. Like when she's mad at God, she gets it all out and then allows for it to open up with a conversation of of what's wanting to be heard and seen and witnessed. And so that's a really beautiful tool. So I love, Tammy, that you shared that, because yeah, that is a very powerful tool to use writing to assist in moving energy and moving emotions that are asking to be seen and witnessed and receive answers to the things that we're asking to receive answers to. I know April mentioned vision boards. Yes, they are very powerful. I am a little different with vision boards. I don't love vision boards, but that's me personally. The reason why I don't love vision boards is I love putting things out into the world of what I'm wanting to create, but it's always this or something better. Because in my limited view as Amanda, in this frame of what I can see, I can't see 360 degrees around me and what's coming up in my timeline. I never in a million years thought I'd be writing this book or doing that podcast. And so I have really, Michael Singer is one of my all-time favorite humans, and his book of The Art of Surrender, and actually his podcast series of how to apply it, the surrender experience, or experiment. This is where I practice. Yes, I create a vision board, if you want to, if you want to use that verbiage of I'm wanting to create this, but I also can let it go. This or something better. And I'm surrendering each day to show me how I can achieve this thing that I'm working towards, this goal that I'm going after. And then letting go and allowing for God to come in and to guide where it gets to be guided. I'm just reading. Thank you, Barbara. Oh, I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. Are there what would your advice be for someone who is starting out who doesn't believe in source yet? Thank you for asking that question. Beautiful. Great question. There's a few steps for that personally in my experience. Um, Tammy, I shared there is an unplug and reset meditation that I wanted to offer. I don't know if we can share that in the comments. It's a link that it's a guided meditation that I wanted to offer for free. And then there is oftentimes when we step out of any kind of religious construct and God dies, we hold on to the anger with God. And this may not be you with your question, but for the most part, this is what I've noticed is we hold on to that old version of God and we are angry at that old version of God. And the ask is for us to actually move through the death process with what God was. So writing a letter, in my book, and I mean, I guess in my book, I do have a lot of exercises with how to release those parts of you so that you can allow for something new to come in. There's also a really powerful, if you go to my website, and I'll put it in the link, but if you go to my website, amandajoyloveland.com/leaving religion tools, there's a 4-part series. And I didn't know I was going to be speaking about this. So I will create a coupon code and somehow we'll share it. For those that are interested, there's a 4-part series. It's a guided meditation series that ended up being kind of a course that walks you through how to deconstruct the parts of you after stepping out of what you used to know in a religious context, that goes to releasing what God used to look like, releasing the old promises that you made that can also feel binding. So for those of you that feel interested, you can go to that and go through those processes, because when we don't allow for something to fully die, it's still active. So similar to that shame, when we don't allow for ourselves to see it, to hold it, to honor it, to show us the gifts and what was there's a lot of gifts that we've gained through everything. If we don't allow for that to fully die, for us to go through the complete healing process, then nothing new can be brought in. So we have to let the old die and then have an invitation to allow for something new to come in. And with God has changed many times for me as far as what that looks like to me. And so I've noticed as I've grown and changed, God has grown and changed, which to me and what I know now with source, God, the divine, it makes sense that as I shift and change, that would also shift and change. So I don't know if that answered your question. Oh, I can never say your name. Melodious, I believe. Where did you go? I don't even see the comment anymore, but I don't know if that answered, but I hope that was a little bit helpful. My recommendation to you There's something within you particular that's asking to be sparked. It's actually it is in your second chakra. There's a spark that's asking to be activated within you. So I would invite you to actually sit in a sacred space and see that spark and ask what's there and ask what's asking to be ignited. There's something that's asking to be created and ignited and actually with source energy. So that's just what I'm picking up for you. I hope you don't mind that I just tapped into that, but because you asked a question, it feels like I had permission. Are there any other questions? I know we're over time. Thank you, Kayleen. I hope I'm saying your name right. That's a beautiful name. Mm. Thank you. I love what I do. I used to run a clothing business for years, and so it is fascinating. It's been so fun to step into this space um, of wholeness. And as we do our work, we allow for others to do the same. And I absolutely love what I do. So I appreciate your comments. Any other questions? Hi, Tammy.
Hey, so I'm just gonna jump back on for a hot
Yeah.
sec because I'm grabbing that link. So you can keep asking or answering questions if you have just maybe 5 more minutes. Is that
Yeah,
okay?
I absolutely do. I'm going to see if I can see any other.
Yes, we did have a question up above from Bob Coleman. He's a friend of mine. Hey,
Hi,
Bob.
Bob. I know
He's
Bob as well. Hello.
That's awesome. I'm going to go ahead and
Oh,
put
here we
his comments,
go.
and then if you want to go ahead and respond.
Hmm. Oh, I'm so glad that you brought this up. I experienced fear of being shamed and crucified for my desires, decisions, appetites, and passions, and drive for more and for expansion and for transcendence and evolution. This is a beautiful, beautiful question. And this retreat that I was just at, we dove deep, deep into this desire for wanting more. There's a few layers to this with you, Bob. And I wish, dang it, that question just went away. Will you pop it back up, Tammy, if you can? Thanks, love. Um, Bob, for you, this is there's many, many layers in this for you. And it actually there's a child aspect of you that's asking to be seen in this. Um, and you, my dear friend, are wanting to be seen. So I appreciate you asking this and stating this. And it wasn't actually a question, it's just you sharing. Thank you for sharing that. My question to you, Bob, would be what in your life right now is prohibiting you from being completely present and satisfied with where you're at right now in this exact moment, right here, right now, right today? What part of you is constantly needing something else to fulfill? There's a ask for you to step into a place in your life to where you can be completely okay with exactly where you're at right now, and to know yourself more fully, and to be 100% okay and have so much self-love and knowing with who you are that you know that you have you, and no matter what in the world is happening, what is going on in your world, you have you. So I know that wasn't really a question, and this was something that was brought up throughout this week. Oh, and I may do a post around this. There's an interesting thing about the wheel of desire that a lot of us aren't familiar of, that actually ties into the triangle of disempowerment, or the dynamic or drama dynamics. That if you're not familiar with it, it goes into victim, perpetrator, rescuer, and the avoidant. And this actually goes into how we desire, what we desire in our world that brings us joy. And a lot of times we feel that creativity energy, those desires are actually, and the appetites feel very sexual, and it is just creative energy. It's just a part of us that's asking to be seen and witnessed and expressed and felt, and wanting that more, and experiencing that more and more of expansion. Again, Bob, what I keep just feeling for you, my beautiful friend, is where can you step more and more into who you are and embrace you and love you? There's some inner child work that's asking to be done. You and I can have a chat, more of a conversation about this afterwards. Thank you for having the courage of saying that. Wendy, are there any other questions that are coming up? Kayleen, how may I schedule a one-on-one with you, as there's so much to bring forward into this now moment? Reach out to me and we can have conversations about that. A beautiful friend of mine, it's 11:11. A beautiful friend of mine and I are we're actually creating a school next year, a sacred, a spiritual school. So that, if you want any information about that, let me know and I can put you on my email list. We're also doing breakthrough weekends together that are pretty powerful. Not pretty powerful, they're amazing. So for people that are wanting to really take a quantum leap in your life, you can reach out to me. We can have a conversation. But Kayleen, the best way right now, you can go to my website. We can schedule a quick discovery call and see what your needs are. But I do a lot of custom offerings because everyone is very unique in what they are going through and what they're needing. So thank you for asking that question. And just as a FYI, my battery is really low. So if I die, I'm sorry, Tammy.
You're
I can't quite get to the outlet.
You're totally fine. I actually am kind of in the same boat. For whatever reason, I'm not able to access that link. Do you happen to have it that you could
Can I post it later after we're off of this?
Yeah, definitely. And
Okay.
if you send it to me, I can post it separately too so that people can get it and we can also email it out.
Perfect.
So
And then I'll create a coupon code for anybody who's wanting that other package, that they can get a discount off of that as well.
Awesome. Yeah, my phone died, so I'm like, I can't get the link. I've tried all these other ways, so I'm like, okay. But it's actually kind of a good thing because I think it'll probably even reach more people because we'll go ahead and post it separately, so it'll be really good.
Okay.
I just want to really express my gratitude because I can't imagine that it was a super simple decision too for you to be able to stretch out of your comfort zone and be able to start doing this work. But man, you have helped so many people that you don't even know about. So
thank you.
we'll
One of my favorite quotes is, often fear is excitement without the breath. And so fear is usually my indicator that the things that I'm desiring are on the other side of that fear. So let's just dive in.
That is awesome. Well, I so appreciate you. I hope we get to be able to attend some live conferences as well.
I would love
That'd be
that.
so amazing. Awesome. My throat chakra literally has been like
move that energy, love. You're doing amazing. And I'm so grateful for everything that you're doing. You're just an amazing human. And I just honor you and appreciate you, Tammy.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. All right, you guys, I want to encourage you to go reach out to Amanda Joy Loveland. She's got amazing stuff that's coming up. Here's her website once again, so you can go ahead and jot that down. Go check it out. She's got some really great stuff there. Go listen to her podcast. I think I found it on Spotify when I very first
it's Spotify and Apple. Yeah.
Yep. And then lots of retreats and events coming up. So
yeah. Well, thank you so much, Tammy. Appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thank you so much for being here.
See ya.
Okay, well, she's freaking amazing. That was awesome. I haven't ever had someone address this topic specifically. And I want to say thank you to everyone who took the time to be here today and also who shared. I did go ahead and choose a winner to be able to announce one more winner. I'd like to go ahead and share that person's name. This person will win our money class that I was telling you about earlier today. And we already announced Jessica Harrison and also Lori Bills as our first recipients for this particular giveaway. I'm going to go ahead and announce our next one because she shared this video to get the word out about Amanda's class today. And that winner is Becky Smith Bornholt. So will you please go ahead and join me in celebrating and congratulating our third winner today? Excuse me. Here's some of my notes that I wrote down from Amanda's. Please go ahead and share your highlights down in the comments of what stood out to you, what made a difference for you today, what really helped you. I have Michael Singer's book called The Art of Surrender. I'm going to go get that on Audible today. And I also really appreciated her tip about the morning pages, writing for 10 to 15 minutes, conversations I wrote to yourself or to the universe or to source or whoever you want, right? I wrote down those tips for myself. I'm also going to go back and listen to that guided meditation when I'm not trying to like read comments and check everything. So that'll be really good too. For those of you who were on for today for Amanda's, will you please go ahead and share what stood out to you? Was there something that really touched your heart or really supported you? I thought that was really cool that she was able to stay on for just a few more minutes to be able to do that Q&A. That was so cool of her. All right, awesome. And I am going to go ahead and share the link for you to be able to find out about the money course as well. So if you yourself are thinking that you might want to do that and you weren't one of the 3 winners that we announced today, it is a long, kind of a jumbled smorgasbord of letters and numbers that's put together, but it will actually take you over to our page that talks more about money. So Lori says, I didn't think I had shame anywhere, but I have a little and able to identify it today. Great insights from Amanda and you, Tammy. Oh, thank you. I was just trying not to cry a whole bunch. I'm going to go have me a good crying session after this, though. I usually cry on my treadmill, so that's good. Anyway, you guys can go ahead and also, Lori, you did win. So you're going to want to message me. Here's my email. I'm going to go ahead and put that up across the screen for you so it's just easy. Jessica Harrison won, Lori Bills won, and then our third and final winner today was Becky Smith Bornholtz. So please go ahead and message me if you were one of those winners as well. And we're just asking right now for those of you who really got a lot of value and insight as well to please go ahead and share this video with anyone that you think could also receive some added value. I honestly think that this would be an excellent exercise specifically to do with teens as well. Just thinking of my girls, and I shared this with them, so hopefully they can jump on and get that. I feel like it was just so helpful and just very, very beneficial. Lori says she liked the writing tip as well. Aubrey says, hey, Aubrey, how are you? She says, loves and gratitude. Tammy understood word. This was truly what I needed today. Yeah, I thought of you when you'd sent me that message. Perfect. All right, so the one last time, I'm going to go ahead and just review the money class. It is a 7-week class, starts July 12th. It's at 10 a.m. On Tuesdays, and it will go it's a really relaxed, but yet focused class on intentionally directing your energy and focus towards money, abundance, and also receiving. We're going to be focusing in on a $10,000 challenge on how to receive $10,000 over the 7 weeks. We're also going to be doing a list of 300 positive money statements as a bonus for everybody who joins in. There's also meditations that you can do, step-by-step action checklists, templates, just loads of inspiration. You and anybody else in your household can join in for that $77 price. And we also will be having a Facebook group that is a closed group just for people who are in this class. So if you're interested in joining in, you can do that. So it's going to be really great. I'm like, sorry. There we go. All right. I appreciate you guys all, and we'll see you next Friday. Enjoy your holiday weekend. We'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone.